everyone, and welcome to this week's Good Work Show. I got this straw right in the. You know what? I noticed that before, and I was like, "Well, this is a little." Can you tell it's a straw?
Yeah, it's in a cup.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. It just looks really odd on my end because it's sticking out, and I'm like, "What is?" Anyway,
Well, I mean, it's coming out of a cup, so
I guess.
I don't know what else it would be.
But welcome to this week's Good Work Show.
Yeah,
We're
this is
excited.
the content you signed up for, isn't it? That's why we're all here.
Sure hope so. This is the content you're getting, or this is the content you're getting ready to quickly turn away from. Hopefully, it's the former. Stick with us. We got a good show today because we're going to tell you how you can give back and get excited about your community by giving some of your time and some of your effort and some of your talent through Hands On Atlanta.
Yeah, so I think I first connected with Hands On Atlanta. It was a very long time ago in my other life when I used to do disaster education and awareness and worked really closely with the team at Hands On Atlanta, doing some education projects like long time ago. So excited to reconnect with them in a different way. I'm sorry, there's like a huge squirrel outside and it came up to say hi.
Oh, okay.
Got a little straws and squirrels, people.
At least it wasn't in
Straws.
your house. I got a story about squirrels. It wasn't in my house, thank God. But there's a reason why I don't. Me and squirrels, we don't get down like that.
I don't mind them, but I mean, I think it was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if we were doing the show or if I was just on a regular Zoom call, but there was a very large squirrel. I thought it was a small dog outside, but it was a squirrel. The squirrels, like many of us, have not yet shed our winter weight, so they're just out there.
Well, maybe it was having babies. Maybe it was getting ready to have more squirrels. You might have a whole slew of squirrels. What's the thing for the squirrels? Is it like when there's a group of them? What is it called?
I don't know.
Because it's like a school of fish and a
murder of crows. That's my favorite one.
That makes sense though.
Mm-hmm. So apparently though, you can, collective, sorry, nerding out a little bit. You can kind of assign a term for a collective noun, like based on you can like create it. So like if you
start over, I didn't follow.
So you can create your own term. Like that could be a game. Like you can create your own term for a collective noun. So like, okay, school of fish is a thing and a murder of crows is a thing. But if you don't like squirrels, you can say like, it's an annoyance of squirrels because it's a large annoyance of squirrels.
Who made this? Like, where do you submit the word? Like,
I don't think you submit it. I think you just can use it.
Is this, I'm sorry, but I need more information. So you're saying it's grammatically correct if I just make it up myself, or is anyone else going to adopt it and I can like say,
people may adopt it,
but if you dictionary.com and say, I want this to be the group of squirrels name.
I don't think it's that prescribed, but if it's descriptive enough and then you tell people like, oh, I had a whole annoyance of squirrels outside, they'd be like, you know what? Squirrels are annoying. That makes sense. Let's go with that.
Okay, well that is some interesting. I probably would have did that anyway, but I'm just saying, when did it become who made the rule up that you can do it?
I don't know that there is we're making our own rules.
But how did you find this information? That's what I'm saying. How did you get the information that you could do this?
I read it. I was reading. It was in a book once. I was reading. And part of what they would do is that they kind of created this. They had this group of people. They would create these collective nouns for things. So,
okay.
It's actually kind of fun. And then when they described it, it was like, oh, that makes sense.
So we're going to say then that a group of volunteers for Hands On Atlanta would be a fantastic of volunteers.
There we go.
Yep. That's what a group of volunteers is called, a fantastic.
I like it.
That's
So
right.
we're gonna,
Made it up. The rule sticks.
the rule sticks. We declared it here.
That's
So
right.
it has been said. So we're gonna talk to the folks over at Hands On now and
Yeah.
see what's going on and how you can join the fantastic if you see fit.
Well, welcome back to the show, everyone. We are excited to have our friend Tim Atkins, who is from Hands On Atlanta, joining us on the show today. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us, we have had Hands On, oh gosh, it's been a long time though, I think, Trinice, right? It has to be, I want to say probably 5 years or so that we've
Been a
had Hands
while.
On Atlanta on the show. So we probably need a refresher, but more importantly, we want to get our audience up to speed and insight, just get all the information about what you do and what the organization does. So tell us all about Hands On Atlanta.
Sure. Well, glad to be back. If it's could be I don't know how many times we've been on the show, but this is great. So Hands On Atlanta, our mission is to mobilize the Atlanta community to tackle our city's most pressing needs. We've got a pretty big vision of making Atlanta the most civically engaged and equitable community in the world. So we're just all about, mobilizing people to fill needs essentially throughout the community. And so probably something new that I can talk a little bit about that may be a different spin from the last time that we were on the show, or from what most people may think about when they think about our organization and as the volunteer hub of the city since 1989. We've been around doing this work for 30 plus years, is that we're really trying to change the way that people think about serving and about volunteering and about getting involved and just being engaged. And we really want to promote that engagement piece. So, volunteering may be tutoring kids, maybe, doing meal distributions at food pantries. We've got a lot of those types of opportunities available for folks. But we also have opportunities that I think may be new that are just, more conversations, partnering with organizations like Inclusive and just having a really meaningful conversations over dinner and, just engaging that way, talking about issues that maybe you don't normally talk about, especially with folks from different viewpoints, to try to gain just better understanding, empathy, and so it's exciting time to be at Hands On Atlanta and to be in this work, because it is changing and there's organizations that are doing all kinds of really cool stuff. And so my job's exciting because I get to promote that and I get to find out what's going on, what they're doing, and just try to help find people to support their work. So, in total, we're looking on an annual basis of mobilizing about 20,000 people. We partner with about 150 different organizations throughout Metro Atlanta. Most of those folks are like food-focused, food insecurity, as we kind of made a little pivot back in COVID. And we're seeing anywhere from 130 to 150,000 hours served on an annual basis. And last year alone, talking about that food insecurity, Hands On Atlanta volunteers in partnership with our food pantry partners have moved, almost 9 million meals just here locally. So we're doing some good work. We're partnering with some great organizations, and we're trying to just keep things moving and tackle problems.
Wonderful. So talk to us a little bit about kind of I want to dig a little bit deeper into that pandemic response, because we know there were so many needs within the community, and also maybe the way that the work might have had to pivot. Were there anything that you guys started doing that you're going to continue, or just different ways that you had to work and lessons coming out of COVID?
Yeah, absolutely. So we historically have been like impact area agnostic, is what I like to say. Like, we don't care what the problem is. If it's a big problem and volunteers are needed, like, let's just mobilize folks and let's be a good partner in the community. The pandemic really opened our eyes to that food insecurity and education as being like core issues that like we really wanted to do something about. And quite frankly, like humans, helping humans was really the only way you could do it. You can't really get food to other people without like, showing up to the project, unloading the truck, and then loading up cars. So, we've really kind of doubled down on those two impact areas and are really trying to move the needle there. So that'll be something that we continue, and as we can, grow our partnerships in those core areas. I know some of the nonprofits that we partner with have been recently on the show, which is kind of cool to see too. So y'all are talking to a lot of the same folks that we're supporting. And then I would say definitely that virtual component, being able to, think creatively and engage people, via Zoom or however we can do stuff virtually is definitely something that we've learned how to do, and something that will stay around. The convenience for folks and removing that accessibility barrier is something that we've been able to do through, I think really, really cool, fun, more probably on the education side. So like learning a lot more about like the systemic issue or around like just the issue at hand, what a specific organization or set of organizations are doing about it, and then how folks can then get involved. So we've seen a lot of success there as well. But it's definitely changed, but at the same time, like Piedmont Park still needs to be cleaned. Like these, kids still need to be tutored and mentored. And so we're going to continue that work as well.
Yeah. I want to ask you about, because you mentioned inclusive and you mentioned other ways that organizations and people can join with you and volunteer in a different way. You mentioned cleaning up Piedmont Park. That's one way, but education is this other way. Was this part of what Hands On was thinking, or just because of the pandemic and the partners that you had, that this sort of now become another area of, hey, we can actually grow into this space too, because it provides more opportunities for people to engage with us, but also other nonprofits that might not have thought of, hey, I don't have a volunteer project necessarily, but maybe they're rethinking the way that their projects come about and how they might be able to get volunteers to join in?
Absolutely. We really looked at it as more of like a learning and a collective impact side of the story, right? So we're spread, 150 different partners, and they're all kind of doing different things. And what we really, learned through the experience, it took, 6 months to a year of going through it to be like, hey, we can really move the needle and make an impact if we tried to focus some efforts. So we built some internal programming around doing that. So really focusing on food insecurity and supporting, a lot of our food pantry partners are very, very small. It's 2 volunteers that are moving meals out of the back of a church, and they need support. They need help, and they're doing good work for their community. They need organizations like Hands On Atlanta to help elevate their what they're doing. Similarly, in the education space, we're already, tackling education on a major front. Hands On Atlanta also runs the largest AmeriCorps program in the state of Georgia, where we have 50 AmeriCorps members deployed in Title I schools, mostly in Metro Atlanta, but we work in, Fulton County, Cobb, and DeKalb as well. And so it's like, well, we're doing that work. Let's double down on that. Let's really dive deeper and take those opportunities to engage those kids, out of the classroom and support some nonprofits and some other things that are already doing that. So I think for us, it was really just an opportunity to, recognizing that we can create deeper impact if we kind of just, got a little smarter about what we were doing and focused our efforts. And, our team has been phenomenal at being able to pivot, adjust, and adapt and make it happen. So it's been fun. It's been an exciting, 2 years. It's been a lot of stress. It's been chaos, but, for me in my position, and y'all are marketing communication pros, like it's been a really exciting time to be in the work for sure.
Yeah.
So if there are organizations out there, kind of like that church as you were talking about, with 2 volunteers that recognize they may need some help, how do they start the process to connect with you to, get that additional help? How do they start?
Yeah, so hopefully the marketing guy did his job and they were able to find us on Google, right? They'll type something in and they could find us. But we have a team dedicated to our nonprofit partnerships. Basically come to our website, handsonatlanta.org. click on the partnerships tab, and there's several different options there. But we have a team that's dedicated and focused on supporting our nonprofit partners. So they fill out a form, basically just to tell us a little bit about who they are, what their needs are. We follow up, and that's really how we get the process started. We have several options for folks. So nonprofits can come in and they can, for free as a basic partner, they can just post a couple projects and just kind of, get some additional support. A premium partner will cost about $500 over the course of the year, which gives access to unlimited projects, unlimited volunteers, and then, quite frankly, just the awareness play as being a part of our digital community and some of the efforts that I've got going on. And then we have, larger programming where we have, strategic partnerships with organizations like the food bank that are really just like more systemic, just deeper, and they go a little deeper with that. And we recently just launched a really cool certification program called Service Enterprise, which it's a 6-month program, so it's a little bit more intense and a little bit more timely, depending on what organizations are looking for. But it would basically pit a nonprofit in the top 11% of organizations nationwide in volunteer service and management by being certified as a service enterprise. So, as small as folks want to go, and to as large as deep as people want to go in their volunteer engagement, we've hopefully got something for everyone.
Oh, fantastic. So what's next? What's coming up big that we can look for and share with the audience? And what should they be doing if they want to get plugged into Hands On Atlanta?
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you asked, because we got a lot of stuff. So right now we are recruiting for our next cohort of AmeriCorps members. So we're looking to fill about 60 slots. I believe we'll be in 15 schools across Metro Atlanta for next school year. So if folks are interested in a service year, rewarding work, I had an opportunity yesterday to talk to some of our AmeriCorps members. They are just phenomenal human beings. Like I'm so inspired by hearing their stories, and I'm learning their why. So it's top of mind for me, but I think that's probably our number one thing that we're focused on now, is like really trying to build a strong cohort of members that we can deploy for next fall. You can apply and find more information on our website, handsonatlanta.org. We've also got the spring campaign that we've got coming up called the Spring for Service, which is in partnership with the Points of Light Global Volunteer Month that's happening in April. And I actually don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, so maybe you can edit it out later, but Governor Kemp recently declared April 2022 as Volunteer Month in the state of Georgia. So I got an email yesterday, so I don't know if that's public news or not, but hey. So we're obviously very excited about that. So our Spring for Service campaign will do several things. Primarily, we want to promote the fantastic work that volunteers are doing throughout the course of the year. So we have a call for nominations right now to highlight volunteers. They do not have to volunteer with us or our partners, just folks who are out in the Atlanta community doing great work. We've got some, April's just a busy month for volunteer projects. It's Good Deeds Day, Earth Day, Global Youth Service Day, National Volunteer Week. There's just a lot of international and national events happening that we're promoting, and we've got some projects for. And then towards the end of the month, we have a little fundraiser, a little peer-to-peer fundraiser that we're doing. But really, the focus is on recognizing the work that our volunteers are doing here in Atlanta, and then just showcasing some larger opportunities for them to get involved. So I'd say those are the two things that we've really got coming up that we're excited about. That hopefully some folks will want to participate and get involved.
Fantastic. So the website again is handsonatlanta.org. So hopefully everybody out there listening will go take a visit, see there seems to be no shortage of things for them to do. So
That's
no
correct.
one's going to go there if they have it truly in their heart to volunteer. They're not going to be able to go there and say, oh, I couldn't find anything to do.
No, that's correct. We have about 200 projects posted on our calendar every week, from anywhere from, the middle of downtown to Noonan to Alpharetta. We got projects all over Metro Atlanta. So based on where you are and when you're available, we got something for you.
And virtual projects.
And virtual, that's correct.
Yeah, right. So you don't have to go anywhere.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Tim, for coming on the show and giving us an update. Everybody, make sure you plug in some kind of way because there's something for you to do. And we just appreciate the work that you and the team is doing over there to make it easy for folks to get their hands on Atlanta and really join in and help everybody out. So we appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. This has been fun. We'll see you soon.